Hi betting experts, day 3 Thursday at the Cheltenham Festival. Perfect ground conditions, just on the softer side of good. Another fascinating day's racing. We start off with our betting expert daily nap, sponsored by Priced Up Bet. This goes in the 320, the Ryanair Chase, a grade 1, and I think this is absolutely tailor-made for the short-priced Factor File. Now, he has eased a little bit in the last few days, but I think he's got optimum conditions here. He's nearly a top-class chaser, and I think in time he will emerge as a Gold Cup contender perhaps next year. He's a little bit too free and he does make little jumping errors, but he's basically a sound jumping, strong traveller. And I think this drop back in trip to 2 mile 4 will be absolutely ideal. I thought he shaped really well at the Dublin Racing Festival in February, getting a very patient ride from rear and looking briefly a threat to Galloping Deschamps. And this strongly run 2 mile 4 on spring ground will be absolutely ideal. None of these rivals have got the potential that he possesses. If you watch back him winning the Brown Advisory at the festival last year, plenty went wrong in the run for him that day. He did really well to win, and I think he's a more polished performer now. He's a short price, but I think he's a class above these rivals. Our betting expert value angle selection, sponsored by Priced Up Bet, goes in the 440. It's the Plate, a handicap chase over 2 mile 4.5 furlongs on the new course, and I think the one who's overpriced here is Personal Ambition. Now, he comes from a yard Ben Pauling. They've had an absolutely fantastic season. He's got a lovely team of young horses. They've held their form from the first day, really, and they're still in the winners now. Personal Ambition, well, he's run 4 times over fences so far. On about 3 of those occasions, he's shaped really well. I put him down as one for this race when he finished second over this trip at Ascot. That form's been well franked subsequently. Now, next time out, the reason you're getting bigger than 20 to 1 this afternoon is he was well beaten third at Windsor, but they flew round Windsor, and one of the features of that track is that plenty of horses had just been run off their feet. It was over 2 miles and he just got left behind in the final mile. That's not done his handicap mark any harm, it has to be said. I think he's very well treated. He's got Ben Jones booked, who's one of the up-and-coming jockeys. I think he's bound to run really well here. If you can find extra places, 6 places say, I think he'll go really close and give you a good run for your money. The remaining races, we'll do them in time order, starting with the Mayor's Hurdle at 120, a grade 2, quite a competitive race over 2 mile 1. 6.5 comes from an excellent yard, Gavin Cromwell. She had some useful form over staying trips on the flat, and I thought she made a good start over hurdles when landing hefty market confidence at Fairyhouse in January. There's improvement to come with her jumping, which will gain more fluency with experience, but I think this stiff track over 2 mile 1 should be absolutely ideal, and she can pick them off up the final climb to home. The 2 o'clock, the Jack Richards Novice Handicap Chase, a grade 2 over 2 mile 4. I've got 2 on my shortlist here. Springwell Bay, who I had fancied for one of the later races on the card, the handicap. He's going to come here, surprisingly, but I think Firefox at around about 10 to 1 is the one to side with for Gordon Elliott. Now, he's a bumper and hurdle winner. He's always looked to chaser. 3 runs this season, promising to varying degrees in pretty warm company since he made a winning start at Down Royal in November. I think jumping errors have somewhat held him back with his finishing effort at Naas and Leopardstown, but that's good form behind Madgeborough at the Dublin Racing Festival, and I think he'll go very close here with Jack Kennedy booked. The Pertemps final at 240, typical minefield. Will the Wise, well, there's no secrets with him. He's improving. He's been hammered in the market when landing the cash recently in Ireland. He's only had 5 career starts. He comes into the festival on the upgrade, having landed hefty market confidence at Punchstone and Naas since going handicapping, and I think this true test at 3 miles will really suit him. He's got a pointing background and he's attracted some interesting market support in the last few days. The Stayers Hurdle at 4 o'clock, well, I like the Wool Park here, who looks the second string on paper for Gordon Elliott, but I think he's really good, decent each way value at around the 12 to 1 mark with Priced Up Bet. He's a 7-year-old, he's 6 from 12 over hurdles. He's improved run to run as his stamina's been drawn out, and he really caught my eye behind Crambo in the long walk at Ascot. That was his first start in the JP McManus colours. He was poorly placed and finished running left in the tank there, and there's loads more to come from him. They will go a right gallop here, I suspect, and he's a bigger price than he should be, because these handicappers do tend to get pegged as handicappers, and I don't actually think in the staying division there's that much between them and the graded runners. Finally, the Kim Muir at 520. This will be 3 mile, 2 furlong handicap chase. Well, Johnny Who has been in the notebook, there's no doubt about it. He's been aimed at this race all season. He finished third behind the impressive but ill-fated The Jukebox Man at Newbury in November. He's been allotted a very lenient looking mark here. Jumping errors proved costly when he disappointed at Ascot in December. That trip was far too short with him. It was just a sighter really for this. Derek O'Connor's booked with a clean round of jumping. He must go really close. Best of luck with all 7 races at the Cheltenham Festival on Thursday, betting experts.